about what has been transpiring today. So, Tandike to okay?
Yes, sir.
Kojo mayo jo operating guy. Kakati. So today, the executive board, which is an organ of the party provided for within the party constitution, sat to consider results that came through from a select committee that had been put in place by the same board to address themselves to 19 constituencies. Now, when the election management committee, which again is provided for within our party constitution, did the vetting and also sent teams in these various constituencies to get results from the ground, what people are saying, and results were eventually released for Central Region and then released for Eastern Region. We're also going to release Western and then Northern. There were particular concerns from 19 constituencies in Central Uganda, in the Central Region. And so the Executive Board took a decision that for those 19 constituencies, they would be relooked at, they would be re-evaluated, and the process redone. And a select committee was put in place to specifically handle those 19 constituencies. And so that select committee did its work within 48 hours and handed over the work that they did to the Executive Board. So the Executive Board has been discussing these matters and looking at the results. And what I can confirm is that in about an hour's time, those results are going to be released, like all the others have been released on our social media platforms to clearly indicate who has become flag bearer for which particular constituency and all of that after the re-evaluation has been done. Now, as has been the case with all the other results, whenever results are put out there, aspirants have got 48 hours within which to raise any concerns for those that have any concerns and those that have petitions that they would want to put through. You know, for a process like this, it's very important that people are given opportunity to express themselves if they have any concern whatsoever, because it's human. It's human for some comrades to be dissatisfied. It's human for some people to be disgruntled, for people to even be dissatisfied in whichever way with the process. And when that gets to happen, it's important, it's even legally the right thing to do to avail them an opportunity to raise any concerns. And so once the results are released in a very short while from now, the people that might have any concerns whatsoever have up to 48 hours to raise these concerns, which concerns shall be looked at as soon as possible. Again, that will be within another 48 hours, such that justice gets to be dispensed once and for all, and then people get to know how they're going to move, because nominations for MPs it's going to be from it's going to be between 12 and 13 of October, and there's not so much time to that. So we want to see that as a party, all these processes get to be handled as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
that's my communication.
You're talking about 19 constituencies. About now we have 15 whose results have been released. What happens to the other?
Oh, it's been put out on social media already?
Yes.
On our platform?
Yes, it is.
So I'm giving you...
what happens to the others?
Just allow me to confirm that.
See whether it is
It is.
Just give me a short while if you can. Because now I was probably giving you present past tense. Just give me a short while. Angie? Tofanye zina wallahi. All right. Okay. So now I think I should repeat my statement. because we had got an indication that they would come out in about an hour or so. All right, so today, the executive board, which is an organ of the party provided for within the party constitution, sat to consider results that came through from a select committee that was put in place by the same board. Now, what happened? Of course, there's an election management committee which is provided for within our party constitution that has been doing the vetting and also sending teams in every constituency to get a feel of what's on ground, and then all these results compiled, put together, and then flag bearers are announced. And so we kept releasing. We released for Central Region, we released for Eastern, we're releasing for Western and Northern in a short while. But specifically for Central Region, there was concern within certain particular constituencies. There were 19 in total, actually. And the executive board, in its wisdom, decided that those particular constituencies be looked at, be re-evaluated. And the executive board put in place a select committee to deal with this work within 48 hours. They have done so, and they have released the results for 15 constituencies. There's 4 which are still being looked into, where 1 or 2 people have not been vetted and all of that. And it's important that you see, whoever is meant to be part of the process is vetted, since a re-evaluation is happening. So if there were 3 aspirants and only 2 have had chance to be nominated, you cannot release those results until you've also vetted the other third one. For example, this morning, we had one person who was in jail yesterday, Musiri David. He could not be vetted yesterday, but thankfully he was available this morning, so he was vetted. So for this particular 4, there's a few of the aspirants that have not been, gotten, such that they can be re-evaluated, and that's why for the 4, those results have not been released yet. But for the 15, the re-evaluation did happen. This select committee interacted with these people, and then also teams were sent on ground and results were released. And so the 15 are the ones that have sailed through as flag bearers for the party. Now, as we have been saying severally, that whenever results are released, it's human that some people will be disconcerted, that some people will be dissatisfied. It's human, and it is expected. Now, what you do as a party, you provide a mechanism for people to express their dissatisfaction, for people to petition. And so I'd like to say that those that are which they can petition, within which they can raise whatever concerns that they might have, and then those concerns get to be looked at again within a period of 48 hours still, such that this process gets to be done away with in a short while, because nominations for members of parliament are coming up. They're going to happen on 12th and 13th. So we want to be sure that within a short while we have dealt with this process. So the results that have been released, those are the ones that have sailed through as flag bearers. But if anybody out there has any concern or is dissatisfied for whatever reason, they have a right. They have a right to air out their concern, to air out their dissatisfaction and their petition, and it will be listened to.
So we are seeing, even before you determine the petitions, people are going on to stand as independents. Isn't this bad for the party, which is 2 years old?
So, for starters, I would like to say that, one, we did not have a perfect process. We could not have a perfect process, but we did everything possible to make sure we have a process that inspires confidence in people, a process that is transparent, a process that is legitimate, okay? Because we unveiled about 2 months ago, and we don't want to give the excuse of a short period, but even within the short period, we have done quite a bit of whatever we could be able to. We had wanted to do primaries, for example, and we tried primaries in certain areas in eastern Uganda and in some parts of northern Uganda, because our red books, our registers had gone out, people had acquired membership cards. And so we said, let's test this thing of primaries. And so in some of those places, they would meet at certain places, restaurants, some place, a hotel. And when they gathered, police came, rounded them up, jailed up a number of them. In fact, people in eastern Uganda, those ones spent about 13 days in jail. Thankfully, we were able to get them out. In the north, they spent about 3 days, and were able to get them out. So it was very clear from the word go that primaries were not going to happen. Because we have a situation of goose and the gander. So while folks in the NRM can go about their activities and hold these mass rallies, processions, and so on, we in NUP, They don't allow us to do that. Ssenyonyi, if I'm found with about 10 people in Tinder Trading Center, they'll rough me up. You saw what happened to Honorable Tamaguzi. He had about, what, 15 people? They rounded him up, locked him up for 5 days. You know, so there is unfairness. About a week or so ago, our office operators in the NUP office in Chadondo East, there were 7 of them in the office. Kasangati police went, rounded them up, because there were 7 in an office. And they took them to Kasangati police. They were there for a couple of days. Thankfully, eventually they were released. So clearly, the state showed us that they will not let us to go out there and involve everybody. Because if you can arrest 7 people that are at an office, so how about if we had called for primaries in that very place and had more people than just the 7? So we're going to have running battles with police, tear gas, people being jailed, and then we have back and forth. And then the deadline for nominations would reach, and would not have candidates, would not have aspirants. And that's why we said, you know what, since we're operating in abnormal times, you cannot operate normally. So primaries would be the normal thing to do. But thankfully, we went back to our party constitution, which provided for this vetting process. Now, the vetting process happens in 3 ways. The very first stage, again superintended by our election management committee of the party. There's one at the top, at the national level, which deals with MP aspirants. But then, every constituency had an election management committee that was dealing with councillors and all of that. So the very first level was to interface with these people. There are 3 of them, maybe 5, that are interested in the same seat. The committee would sit with them to harmonize and say, look, if all the 3 of you insist on running, it might be easier for somebody from the other side to easily sail through. So is it possible that you can harmonize and agree amongst yourselves and select one? And in some cases, they actually managed to agree and said, you know what, let's allow so-and-so to go for MP. Me, I'll go for councillor. Or another person says, I'll not run for anything. And it happened. And so we're able to easily get somebody that would carry the flag. But in places where that harmonizing did not succeed, where each of them said, you know what, no, I feel I am the right person. Even the other one, and they all insist. Then they go to level number 2. Level number 2 is the vetting process, where they get to interface with the election management committee, which asks them about a couple of questions to try and get a good understanding of their leadership abilities, of their commitment to the struggle, but also of their potential and everything connected to that. And marks were awarded to that, up to 50%. Now, the other 50% of the marks came from the field. 2 teams were sent to each of these constituencies, especially where there were contestations, to establish, so among the 3, among the 5, or whatever the number that are interested in this seat, who is really on ground? Who are the people vouching for? What are the people saying about all these 3? Who is connected well to them? And those results came through, and you know the ground does not lie. You know, it's easy for somebody to go to the vetting committee and speak very nice English and get very good marks. But you see, the picture on ground might be different. Because ultimately, the ground communicates and says, for us, this is the person we are behind. And so all of that was tabulated together. The results from the field survey, and also the results from the vetting committee. And that's how these people that sailed through became flag bearers at the end of the day. Now, my colleague asked me that some people have declared that they are going to run as independents, even though we have said those that have any concerns can petition and all of that. You see, as a party, the ideal thing would be that only the flag bearers get to run, that our other party members don't get to stand as independents. That's what would be ideal. That's what we would prefer as a political party. But then again, it's somebody's constitutional right to say, for me, I want to run. And I will run as an independent, even though I have not gotten my party flag. I'm going to run as an independent. It's their constitutional right. You cannot take it away from them. We would not prefer that as a political party, because we want to keep together as a bloc, as opposed to, so a flag bearer runs, then also the independents run, and then the votes end up being split. That's what would happen. But ultimately, if somebody insists and says, no, me, I'm going to run as an independent, it really is their constitutional right. We as a party do not have a prerogative over that. Uganda. Yewe z'omumba. Kali singa njaliyo namweyaga just nange mbuza bibuze bikambo. All right. olunaku olwaleero akakiiko k'ekibiina akayitibwa executive board akateekebwawo ssemateeka y'ekibiina katudde okufuna alipoota okuva mu kakiiko ak'enjawulo akateekebwawo executive board eno jojuzi kateekebwawo katya. Of course tulina election management committee zibadde ziriita results okuva mu process yaabwe, era tuzze ng'ekibiina nga tufulumya results zino nga tufulumya enkalala. So twafulumya eza Central Region ne tufulumya eza Eastern Region ne Western ne Northern tugenda zifulumya. Naye bwe twatuuka ku Central Region waaliwo ensonga ku constituencies zaali 19. Akakiiko kano akayitibwa executive board katunula mu nsonga zino kagamba wano waliwo ensonga kyabwenkanya bw'olaba ensonga n'ogamba nti kale wano tuddemu tutunulewo. Era akakiiko kano executive board ne kateekawo akakiiko ak'enjawulo okutunula mu constituencies ne 19. Era ne ziddibwamu ne bakola vetting ne basindika ne ttiimu mu ground era zezo results ezifulumye era nga tuzifulumiza gye ziri ku mitimbagano eziraga baani abagenda okutukwatira bendera mu bifo bino. Ebifo kati betufulumiza kati biri 15 kubanga ebina wabadde wakyaliwo bannaffe abamu ababadde tebannafuna kaaganya kubeera vetted. Ate nga toyinza gamba nti kale ku kino ekifo kuliko abantu bana basatu bakoze vetting oli ne bwe tumuleka olina okusooka n'omulinda oba yagenze mu kyalo oba aliwo oba ali wala asooka jje naye mu vetting bwewenkanya obwo. So kyemuva mulaba tufulumizaako 15 ziri 4 bakyazikwasaganya okulabira ddala nti buli omu yeesimbye ku bifo ebyo afuna akaaganya okugenda mu kakiiko naye afune chansi eyogerako n'ebirala bwe bityo. Nga bwe tuzze tugamba nti buli bwe tufulumya results munayise buli omuntu ajja kusanyuka. Kya buntu oli okwemulugunya n'alaga obutali bumativu ku nsonga eyo. Era tuzze tugamba buli bwe tufulumya results omuntu yenna alina okwemulugunya aba asobola okuwaayo ensonga ze mu ssaawa 48 z'ennaku 2 n'agamba nti wano siri mumativu oba naki kuba kya buntu oli okubeera nga si mativu. Ate nga ng'ekibiina kitukakatako abantu abo okubawa akaaganya okubawa omukisa okuwaayo okwemulugunya kwabwe. So omuntu yenna alina okwemulugunya tumusaba ng'ekibiina awandiikire akakiiko aweeyo petition ye n'ensonga ze era ensonga ezo zijja kutunulibwamu era zikolebweko ng'amateeka gaffe ag'ekibiina bwe gagamba. Era nga twagala tuzimalirize nga bukyali kubanga nominations z'ababaka zigenda kubeerawo nga 12 ne 13. So nga twagala we tunaatuukiraawo n'ensonga zino zonna zikomekerezeddwa. Badde njagala kwogerawo katono ku process yaffe ng'ekibiina gye twakozesa okusunsula. Okusookera ddala nga bwe tuli ekibiina twagalira ddala okutambulira ku nkole ya demokrasiya era twayagala nnyo okubeera ne primaries. Era twakigezaako kubanga ebitabo byaffe bya registers byatambula mu bitundu by'eggwanga ebyenjawulo abantu baregisteringa ne bafuna membership cards. Era netugamba kale katugezeeko primaries mu bitundu bino ebimu era netugezaako ku bitundu ebimu mu Eastern ne mu bitundu ebimu mu Northern. Naye ebitundu bye bagendamu restaurant, hoteli naki poliisi ne zibasalako ne zibasiba. Era bannaffe mu Eastern baamala ennaku zaalinga 13 mu kkomera naye ekyomukisa omulungi twambala ne tubajjayo, ne mu Northern baamala ennaku nga 3 ne bavaayo. Kyaddondo East weeks nga 2 ndowooza emabega abaali mu ofiisi yaffe y'ekibiina mu Kyaddondo East balinga 7 abapoliisi baava ku Kasangati police station ne bagenda ne babayoola ne babasiba era baamala ennaku mu kaduukulu. Kati nga kwegamba abalagira ddala poliisi n'abali mu bukulembeze balaga nti eggwanga lyattu lino lirimu abaana n'ebyana. Kakati nga NUP ffe tebatukiri ne babeera abantu 7 bali mu ofiisi ne babayoola. Ssenyonyi bansanga n'abantu nga 10 mu Ntinda Trade Center nga banjoola. Jojuzi mwalaba Honorable Lutamaguzi yalina abantu babalinga 15 ne bamuyoola naye yamala ennaku nga 5 mu kaduukulu. Naye meanwhile aba NRM bo ababeera n'enkuŋŋaana processions tewali sanitizing tewali maski tewali social distance n'ebirala naye bo olw'okubanga bali mu buyinza it is okay. So ne tulabira ddala nti engeri ebintu gye bitambula mu ngeri etategeerekeka etali ya bwenkanya tugamba kati tukoze tutya kubanga bwe tulemerako primary tuziteekewo tujja kwezoba ne poliisi tiyagaasi abantu baffe babasibe tudde mu kwetooloola nominations zituuke nga tetunafuna bagenda tukwatira bendera. Ne tugamba kale katudde mu ssemateeka yaffe y'ekibiina etulage engeri gye tuyinza otutambula. Ekirungi nti ssemateeka yaffe ng'erina enkola endala gyeteekawo biri bwe biba biganye nga tusobola okukozesa enkola eno eya vetting. Enkola eno eri mu mitendera 3 okusookera ddala of course ssemateeka yaffe eteekawo obukiiko akakiiko akonkutiko akayitibwa election management committee akeggwangako nga kakwasaganya abo begwanyiza ebifo byobwa MP naye nga buli constituency naye erina akakiiko ako aka election management committee nga ku constituency level awo bakwasaganya bakansalazi n'abalala. So okusunsula nga kuli mu mitendera 3 okusookera ddala abegwanyiza ekifo abo balinga 3 4 5 nga batuula nabo ne bagamba naye kakati mumanyi mwena bwe mulemerako ne muyimirirawo ne mwesimbawo ate kati abasaidi eri bajja bayita mangu mu magulu babayiteko temusobola kwegeyamuko ne mulaba kumwe ani maybe ayina enkizo ku banne ne mugamba nti kale katusindikeyo ono yajja tukwatira bendera era ne beegeyamukaawo era mu bifo ebisingira ddala ne basalawo nti kale tugenda kusemba ono z'omulanja agenda ku kifo ekirala oba sijja nakwesimbawo bwe bityo naye we kiba kigaanidde ekyokuwayamuko n'okukkaanya awo nga bagenda ku level eddako eno yakubigenda mu kakiiko kano ka election management committee akakola vetting akasunsula ne bawayamuko n'abantu bano ogezaako okutegeera ono obukulembeze bwe buli butya struggle agirimu ebyaddala yeewaddeyo ayina ebisaanyizo ebyetaagisa n'ebibuuzo ebirala ogezaako okutegeera ono anaasobola obukulembeze era max ezigabibwa mu committee nga ziri 5 kati max 5 ezisigadde nga ziva ku ground okuweereza ddala 10 kati nga ground tiimu zasindikibwa mu buli constituency naddala ezaaliko embiranye okwebuuza ku bantu abali eyo bo bagamba ki ku bantu bano 3 abana 5 ne bayita mu butale ne bagenda ku stage za border ne batambula mu trading center ne bagenda deep nju ku nju ne bagezaako of course nga tebaatuuka mu buli kifo kya constituency naye ne batambula ekyetaagisa ground enneneko okufuna ekivaayo era max ne zigabibwa out of 50 kati ezo max zonna ne zigattibwa era mu kugattibwa mu bantu 3 5 eyali alina enkizo ku banne oyo kati yabaafuuka flag bearer bwekityo bwe twatambula naye weewaawo sijja kudda wano neesuddiye nti prosesi yaffe yali perfect nnyo nti temwalimu kamogo konna temwalimu birumira byonna kyabuntu wayinza okubeerawo ensobi wayinza okubeerawo omulumulu ffe nga NUP twebaza Katonda nti newankubadde twakanjula ekibiina ery'eggwanga myezi ng'ebiri emabega naye ate tulina bye tusobodde okukola mu sipiidi ey'ekitalo mu kunyigirizibwa okw'ekitalo era nga tetwagala kwekwasa kya myezi 2 naye era mu myezi 2 mulabe kye tusobodde okukolawo so tukimanyi naffe nti waliwo ebiyinza okuba nga tebyatambula bulungi kyabuntu wayinza okuba nga waliwo ensobi ezaakolebwa kyobulula tugamba bannaffe ayina ensonga yonna atubuulireko saatera tulabe engeri gye tusobola okutereeza naye tuli basanyufu nti tulina kye tusobodde okukolawo mu myezi gino 2 kukyanga twanjula ekibiina
bannammwe bangi nga temunasalawo na positions balangidde mutubangenda kwesimbawo baliko gavumenti munasalawo naye olredi beesimbyewo ngaaba independent ekinafuya kibiina kyammwe kikyakifeni
of course ng'ekibiina ffe tuba twalyagadde nti ba flag bearers baffe bokka be baba beesimbawo bamembers abatafuna flaga kyali badde kirungi ne batayimirirawo nga ba independence kuba kati olwo baba bagenda bugabanyaamu butematemamu ate oluusi wa NRM abayite magulu era kitwalyagadde naye oli aba ayina eddembe liryobwebange mwati toyinza mugaana kati ng'ekibiina toyinza mukugira nemugamba nedda tojja kwesimbawo nga independent munaye ssemateeka yaffe ey'eggwanga emuwa omukisa bw'aba ayagadde okwesimbawo naye newankubadde ffe nga pati tekyali tunyumidde nnyo go ge mazima kubanga awo baba bagenda buyuzaayuzaamu okay naye nga bwe tugambye oli bw'asalawo n'alemerako n'agamba nti anze ngenda kujjanga independent munaye ng'ekibiina tuba tetulina ngeri gye tumukugira kubanga ddembe lye eryobwebange. Petitions simanyi muwendo exactly naye zizze nga zizija nga bazitunulamu neza local councils nazo zatunulibwamu ezaba MP zijja era bazitunulamu era nga tusuubira nti wiiki ejja wakati awo wanaatuukira nga petitions zino zimaze okukolebwako kubanga ate nominations z'ababaka ziba zisembedde.
Mulina enteekateeka yonna ey'okuyita ba flag bearers abafunye bendera okubaako bimu bagamba ng'ekibiina oba kati mumaze obbata bagende kujaabo?
Owawo ng'ekibiina tulina enteekateeka okuyita bannaffe abatukwatira bendera okuwayamukko nabo okwenyweza obulungi ng'ekibiina okubategeka kuba kati bagenda kufuuka abakulembeze nga twagala munnanga abantu abanaagenda ne bafuna obukulembeze abatatuswaze twagala tukiggumize ekyo kubanga yes bagenda kufuuka bakansala bagenda kufuuka ba MP naye nga tubagamba banne mugende muweereze bannayuganda mugende mukole emirimu si bino jasi byakufuuka honorable gwe n'ovimba nti kati ofuuse honorable oyita mu trading center honorable twagala so ebyo ebintu ebyo tubiremereko nnyo naye ate ne bannaffe abatasobodde kufuna fulaga tulina enteekateeka ebayita okuwayamukko nabo kubanga nabo bammemba b'ekibiina ate ng'ekibiina kikyabaagalira ddala twakakiryanjula eri eggwanga twagala buli omu akole contribution ye okugattako kyasobola okugattako ekibiina kyaffe kitambule maaso kyogere mu luzungu ekyo. We have plans as a party to invite our flag bearers so we can get to interact with them and prepare them because yes they are going into leadership but we want to ascertain that they will not go and let us down, that they will go and become true leaders, and that's what we want to impress upon them. Please do not shame us. Go and serve Ugandans. Okay, don't just be happy you've gotten the title honorable and you just there swelling. No, please go and serve, go and deliver, run clean campaigns, no fighting, no abusing and attacking each other. Let's run a smooth, clean campaign. But also, our colleagues who are not able to get flags, we intend to invite them as a party and interact with them because they are members of the party. Yes, they did not get flags, but that doesn't mean this is to be members of the family. They're still part of the family, and we believe that there is a contribution that they can still make to the party to push it forward, and so we intend to engage with them to build harmony.
Tweyanziza nnyo tweyanzege abatulaba ku mapo media. Abatulaba ku mapo media bannaffe abamu abatagoberera betuwandiika obugambo obwo bwe tupiiningawo obugambo olumu tuba tubupiininze mu busome. Kazibwe Bashir, Mr. Update, mukulu Mr. Kawalya, Mr. Serukenya, Mr. Muna. So Mr. Update amaze okufuna kaadi. Abaana batandise okuyingirawo kamale okulaba wano abasanyuse essanyu essanyu ly'abantu ddyo tolina w'osobola ddi kugira. Ssegirinya ye tumututte mu kisenge tuli mumunaazaako tumusiiga kazigo alabikeko mu bantu ng'anyirira ng'akafufu konna akaggyeko kubanga abadde mu firudi. bwe tutyo bwe tukyali tujja bbawa butundutundu tujja bbawa butundutundu bwe tujja bwe tuvaako kali akatundu akasoose aka celebration kasoose ne tuddako Ssegirinya ne kagattawo wano ate tugenda kudda Ssegirinya temusooka mumbuuza tumusindikidde abaana bali mu munaaza waliwo amunaaza ebigere emugongo bwegamba bamukuutako enfuufu yonna ajja ayogere eri abantu ng'ali kiriya. So bwe tuvaawo awo ate addeyo aŋŋambye maapu sooka ondeke essanyu ddyo limutta kubanga abadde mu ferudi tujja kudda essaawa yonna asooka akuume katumale okukola ku mitongole tujja kudda ogira ogenda ku midiya endala kweziri ne bwe wabaawo ekibuuminga nja kudda nga bulijjo.